Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is Laurice from Ahsay, and we're thrilled to have you here. Today we're introducing Ahsay's advanced backup module for Proxmox VE, a powerful solution designed to help you elevate your service with smarter backup performance and reliability. But before anything else, we'd like to take a moment to deeply thank our valued partners for joining us here. Your continued support drives our innovation forward. Today, we're exploring how Ahsay empowers you to protect Proxmox VMs the smarter way, with reliable backups, flexible recovery options, and effortless control that brings peace of mind to both you and your clients. So here's a quick look at what we'll be covering. We'll start with the requirements for setting up the Proxmox Backup module, followed by an overview of licensing and subscription options. Next, we'll introduce the Ahsay Proxmox Backup module, highlighting the features and how it integrates seamlessly with your Proxmox environment. We'll then walk you through the Proxmox Backup and Restore GUI, and later, the Restore features, where we'll run down on the 3 recovery scenarios of Standard Restore, Run Direct, and Granular Restore. After that, we'll discuss why Ahsay is the smarter choice over Proxmox Backup Server, especially when it comes to performance, cost efficiency, and simplicity. Then we'll wrap up with a demo showing how to create a Proxmox VE cluster backup set, perform a standard VM restore with Run Direct enabled, and execute a Granular Restore. So finally, we'll open the floor for your questions during our Q&A session. So let's get started. So to begin, here are the requirements needed for using the Ahsay Backup module for Proxmox VE. So it is supported on AhsayCBS version 10.1 or newer, and works with Proxmox VE version 8.1.3 or above, whether you're running a standalone or cluster setup. So for partners self-hosting their AhsayCBS server, please make sure you've upgraded to version 10.1 or later to enable full Proxmox VE backup support. So if you have any questions about the setup requirements, drop them in and we'll go over them during the Q&A. Okay, so let's proceed by clarifying the licensing and subscription model for the Proxmox Backup module, ensuring it remains scalable, flexible, and compliant with partner needs. So for our perpetual license partners running AhsayCBS version 10.1 or above, the Proxmox Backup module is already included for each Ahsay OBM user account at no additional cost. So that means no new license or add-on module purchase required, no extra costs such as per VM, per socket like on VMware and Hyper-V. So it's designed for simplicity, giving you full access to Proxmox backups right out of the box, part of our continued commitment to delivering even greater value to our partners. So this enables your clients to back up an unlimited Proxmox VMs and unlimited servers under your existing perpetual license, helping you deliver a very affordable and highly competitive Proxmox backup solution to your customers. Now, for our meter, license, and storage-based partners, the setup is just as simple. So if you're self-hosting AhsayCBS backup servers, make sure you've upgraded to version 10.1 or above to enable full Proxmox VE backup support. So just like with perpetual licenses, there are no additional license or add-on module purchases required. So it's a straightforward, cost-effective solution that empowers you to deliver very affordable and highly competitive Proxmox backup solution that your customers will value. And lastly, for our AMBAS partners, so everything is even more seamless. So for existing subscriber, your plan will automatically be updated to include Proxmox VM backups, so there's no extra payment or manual action required on your part. So for new subscribers, the Proxmox Backup module is simply $1.20 per month, keeping it affordable and consistent with Ahsay's pay-as-you-go model. So if anything about licensing or subscriptions sounds unclear, pop your questions in and we'll sort them out in the Q&A. So enabling your Proxmox VM backup for your customers is quick and simple. So from your AhsayCBS console, when creating a new OBM user for an existing user, just select the Proxmox VE backup module, and that's it. So once enabled, your customer can already back up unlimited virtual machines and unlimited Proxmox VE servers right away. So it's a one-step setup designed for convenience and scalability, no restrictions. So if you have any inquiries related to licensing or maintenance, our sales team is very much willing to help. So kindly feel free to reach them through the email address shown on your screens. Alternatively, you may also reach them out through our website under Contact Us and select Sales Support. So before we dive in to the technical details, let's first understand what Ahsay's Proxmox VE backup module brings to the table. So this module was built specifically for MSPs and IT teams who need simple, reliable, and automated protection for their Proxmox virtual machines without the headaches of manual setup or complex maintenance. So it's fully integrated with AhsayCBS, allowing you to manage and protect all your Proxmox VMs directly from a single centralized console. So from backup to recovery, every step is seamless, so fast and secure, so you can deliver consistent protection and peace of mind to your clients every time. So now let's take a closer look at what makes Ahsay's Proxmox VE backup module both reliable and efficient. So first, it's built to ensure backup consistency through snapshot-based protection, capturing a complete point-in-time image of each virtual machine. So with application-aware processing, even in-memory impending transactions are safely written to disk for truly consistent backup. So, and also, when it comes to efficiency, Ahsay gives you full control. So back up all VMs on the Proxmox server, select specific VM or just specific virtual disks you need. And another one is using change block tracking, where only modified data blocks are backed up, saving time, backup time, and storage resources. Plus, auto exclusion of swap files and delete data blocks to improve backup and storage efficiency by skipping redundant and useless data. We also have data deduplication, which can reduce storage use by up to 90%. So it's a fast, intelligent, and storage-optimized solution that keeps your Proxmox environments fully protected without unnecessary overhead. So Ahsay brings everything together in one place. So the AhsayCBS Web Management Console, no more complex scripts or constant remote access to Proxmox servers. So from here, you can easily create and manage Proxmox backup sets, perform manual backups, restore, and handle essential maintenance tasks like freeing up space, checking data integrity, deleting backup data, or even restarting and shutting down the Assistant VM. Speaking of which, the Assistant VM or AVM is the engine behind all backup and restore operations. So it's deployed from AhsayCBS to your customer's Proxmox server or cluster nodes, runs on Debian Linux with Ahsay OBM, and is optimized for minimal resource use, ensuring smooth performance without adding load to your customer's Proxmox environment. So anyhow, does it work? Moments about the backup module. So drop your questions in and we'll answer them during the Q&A. So now that we've seen the features and how Ahsay simplifies management through the AhsayCBS console and Assistant VM, let's move on to the next part. So navigating the Proxmox VE backup and restore interface. So we'll walk you through how the GUI works, how to perform backups, and how to easily restore your virtual machines, whether it's a full restore, a run direct recovery, or a granular restore. So let's begin with the first step. So creating Proxmox VE backup set. So this is the default page when creating a backup set for a new Proxmox VE setup. So below are listed instructions on how to proceed. So you will need to select either of the hyperlink text to download the script of the AVM to deploy on the Proxmox server. So once downloaded, a dialog box will appear and instruct you to run the script in the Proxmox server. But to do that, the preceding steps will involve the use of a third-party tool to first transfer the script to the server. Next, here's the GUI when creating a Proxmox VE backup set using a cluster and standalone setup after the AVMs have been deployed and successfully connected to AhsayCBS. So here, you may select which Proxmox server to use for the backup set creation. So you can see below the Proxmox versions as well. So you will also be able to see all the available nodes on the cluster, its host servers, as well as the details of each AVM deployed on each node you're connected to. So if you want to create another backup set for the existing Proxmox VE servers shown, click on the hyperlink text below and you'll be redirected to the default Create Backup Set page. So here's how the Proxmox cluster looks after the AVM has been successfully deployed on each node compared to a Proxmox standalone server. So the default name of the AVM is Backup Assistant. So take note that only one AVM is allowed to be deployed on each node. So now, Ahsay gives you 3 powerful ways to take control and protect your Proxmox VE data. So first, you may back up all VMs at once. So take note that by default, all VMs are selected upon backup set creation. So just click on Proxmox VE label to back up every VM across all nodes in your cluster. Then you just have to click again to unselect everything. So this is perfect for full-scale protection with minimal effort. So which takes us to the second option. So select specific VMs. So choose only the VMs you need to back up, focusing on what matters most, giving you full control over your backup strategy, ideal for optimizing backup time and speed, as well as storage size and costs. So, and third, for even greater control, you may target individual virtual disk. This lets you protect only the most important data, keeping your backups lean and efficient. So take note that, as you can see, the backup assistants are automatically excluded from the list. So for Proxmox cluster, the VMs from all nodes are displayed together in one unified list. So meanwhile, this is how the managed backup set looks like for Proxmox backup set. So directly and efficiently execute jobs on the AhsayCBS console by selecting which job to run, which includes backup, restore, data integrity check, space free up, backup data deletion, and restart and shutdown of AVM. Next up, let's move to the file viewer. So this one's pretty handy. It lets you see a list of all your backed up virtual machines or virtual disks for each backup storage destination. So if you ever need to check what's stored or verify what has been backed up on each backup job, you can do that right here. So hassle-free. Just be reminded that to enable the file viewer from settings before running a backup job. So now now moving on to the restore GUI. So first, you'll be able to select which destination to restore your VM from, alongside the updated detail on when each destination was last backed up successfully. So you may also select which server to restore your VM to. All Proxmox VE servers you're connected to will be listed on this drop-down menu. So otherwise, click on this hyperlink text to download a script file to deploy an AVM to a new Proxmox server you intend to restore to. Meanwhile, the Run Direct option is disabled by default. So once enabled, the restore job automatically migrates your VM. So you can also enable an option to power on and access the restored VM instantly, even while restoration is still in progress. So To proceed, users would have to select what data to restore. So choose from files as of job is selected by default with the latest version shown. So you may select a specific version by clicking the drop-down menus next to it. Next, there is the flexibility to select which VMs or virtual disks to restore. So in this section, you'll configure your restore settings. So select the target node, rename the VM if needed, and choose how it should be restored. So you can restore the VM as a new copy, skip it if it already exists, overwrite it if necessary, or restore it with a customized VM ID. So you'll also be able to assign storage for each disk and adjust the storage format as needed. So now that we've covered the standard restore options, let's move on to the Granular Restore interface. So this feature allows you to browse, select, and recover specific files or folders directly from your Proxmox VM backups without needing to restore the entire virtual machine. So basically, it's designed for speed and precision, giving you a quick access to exactly what you need. So when you need it, perfect for saving time and minimizing downtime during recovery. So Granular Restore is only available through the Ahsay OBM backup client. To begin, simply select the backup set you want to restore from. Then choose the destination. So in the restore mode section, you'll see two options. However, the restore virtual machines option is grayed out by default since that function can only be managed through the AhsayCBS web console. So the Granular Restore option is selected by default, allowing you to proceed immediately. So before continuing, just double check the temporary directory path and make adjustments if necessary. Then the selected temporary directory will serve as the temporary path of the disk that will be mounted later on. So after clicking next, so you will be asked to install a virtual file system driver. So this setup is only required on the first time installation. So after installation, choose a drive letter to mount them, which will temporarily hold your VM or disk data. So Ahsay OBM will process the mounting, and once complete, you can browse and directly access the restored files and folders through File Explorer. So spotted something in the GUI you want to know more about, drop down your questions for our Q&A time. So now that we've seen how Ahsay stands out from the Proxmox Backup Server, let's move on to what really matters after backup, the restore. So Ahsay's standard and advanced restore options gives you the flexibility to restore exactly what you need. So how you need it, whether it's a full VM, a quick run direct restore for instant access, or a granular restore for retrieving specific files or disks. So let's take a look at how these restore options work in action. So let's dive into the standard restore process. So with Ahsay, you have three flexible ways to restore your guests' VMs. One, back to the original location on the same Proxmox host. Two, to an alternate storage location on the same Proxmox host. And three, to an entirely different Proxmox server, whether standalone or part of a cluster. So these options give you full control and flexibility, ensuring your VMs are restored exactly where you need them. Moving on to advanced restore options, designed for even greater flexibility and speed. So first, there's Granular Restore, which lets you mount guest virtual VMs or guest VM virtual disks directly from the backup and recover specific files or folders using the Ahsay OBM interface or Windows File Explorer. Then we have Run Direct, allowing you to run a virtual machine straight from the backup file stored on AhsayCBS local storage or in the cloud. So no need to completely restore it to your Proxmox host first. So these advanced options give you fast, precise, and flexible recovery exactly when you need it. Now let's take a step back and see why Ahsay is the smarter choice for protecting your customers' Proxmox environments compared to Proxmox Backup Server. Let's compare Ahsay's Proxmox Backup solution with Proxmox Backup Server side by side. Okay, so while Proxmox Backup Server may appear free, the reality includes large upfront costs. So there's hardware and storage provisioning, maintenance, staffing costs, and expensive paid support plans. So most of the support plans have a limited number of support tickets, plans with remote support costs, 2,160 euro dollar per year. So plan with unlimited support ticket costs 4,320 euro dollar per year. So deployment as well requires manual setup, and the interface can be complex for everyday users. With Ahsay, it's a completely different experience. So there are no upfront hardware and storage costs, no hardware to maintain, no data centers charges, and free technical support with unlimited expert support, remote support, live chat support included. So deployment is cloud ready and effortless with multi-destination backup to local, offsite, or cloud storage, while immutable backups and object lock and compliance mode keep data protected from ransomware and tampering. And best of all, it's all managed through a simple, intuitive web management console. In short, Ahsay gives you stronger protection, faster performance, and lower total cost without the complexity. So if you have further questions about Ahsay's advantages over Proxmox Backup Server, we'll be happy to address them in the Q&A session. So now that we've covered the features, settings, and restore options, it's time to see Ahsay's Proxmox VE backup module in action. So in this section, we'll walk you through a series of demonstrations from creating backup sets to performing standard, run direct, and granular restores, so you can just see how simple, fast, and reliable Ahsay's Proxmox backup solution really is. Okay, so we'll now first head on to our first demo, creating and backing up your Proxmox VE cluster backup set. So should you have any questions, do not hesitate to drop them in the chat and we'll try to address it during the Q&A later on. So to keep our demo session focused, to ensure we cover the most critical aspects within the available time, we'll begin with the pre-deployed AVM environment with our AVMs already installed on our demo Proxmox cluster server and connected to the user account on our AhsayCBS server. So if you're interested in learning how to deploy AVMs on a Proxmox server from scratch, we've got you covered. So our step-by-step tutorial is available on our official YouTube channel. So we'll drop the link in the chat for your convenience. So let's get started. So as we already have a default Proxmox backup set right here, let's create a new one and run through the step-by-step process of backup set creation. Let's click the plus sign, then select Proxmox VE backup. So let's rename this Proxmox VE cluster. Okay, so below you can also see the Proxmox server name, the available nodes, as well as the Proxmox version. So all the nodes that we have AVM installed and connected to this user account are displayed. So each node is identified by its corresponding VM ID and IP address. So take note that only one AVM can be deployed on each node. So if you need to change the API port or SSH port settings of your AVM, you may double click on the node's corresponding AVM. So make your changes, enter the root password, and click Save to apply the changes. So for this example, we may proceed by clicking Cancel. Then let's click Next. Okay, so take note that in the backup source, all VMs from every node are displayed in a single unified list. Okay, so by default, all VMs are selected and the AVMs are automatically excluded from the backup source. So to reduce the duration of the actual backup demo, let's configure the source selection by unselecting all the VMs and choose only the VM and or virtual disk we wish to backup. So to confirm which VM to backup, you may check your Proxmox server to see which VM to select. So in this demo, let's select this VM 104 from node 1 and a virtual disk from VM 111 from node 2. Okay, so after confirming, let's go back to the AhsayCBS Web Management Console. Unselect Proxmox VE and select the disk or the VM and or disks we intend to backup. Okay, so after configuring your backup source, let's click Next. Okay, so let's for the backup schedule, you may keep the default backup schedule, but for this we will create a new one. Then click the Add button. So when backing up virtual machines, there are two backup types available. So full and incremental. So choose a backup type based on your needs. So full backup reads and backs up all the data blocks on VM disks, while incremental backup uses change block tracking, which only backs up changed data blocks since the last backup, making this backup job faster. So take note that due to Proxmox VE limitations, bitmaps for raw and VMDK disks are deleted when their VMs shut down or restarted, preventing CBT from identifying changed data. Therefore, a full backup will be performed even when incremental is selected. So for this, let's select incremental. Then you may rename it. Schedule. Okay, then choose from the different types of backup schedules such as daily, weekly, monthly, or custom. Then configure the schedule as desired. So after setting up your preferred backup schedule, let's click the Add button below. Then Next to continue. Okay, so for the destination, as we will be selecting more than one storage destination, it is recommended to switch the backup mode to concurrent. So this enables your VMs to be backed up to all destinations simultaneously, which helps reduce the overall backup time, which minimizes any performance impact to the Proxmox server. So to keep the default selection for the maximum concurrent backup destinations, which is unlimited. Then let's click the plus sign. Then proceed with the default selection, which is AhsayCBS. Then click the Add button below. And then let's click the Add button again. So for fast VM recovery option, we recommend including a local destination. So it gives you flexibility to restore data much quicker than from AhsayCBS or any cloud storage. So rename it. So our local destination is on a network drive, which is on a Linux server, and keep SMB share path selected. Then enter the path to the local destination. Okay. Oops. Okay, we're good. And then tick the checkbox to enter the credentials of the machine to be used for the local destination. Then keep auto-selected for version and click the Add button below, then Next to proceed. So for encryption, we will keep the default selection for the encryption settings. Then click Save. Okay, so a dialog box will be prompted. Click OK to show the encryption key in plain text. So make sure to keep a copy of your encryption key. Otherwise, you will lose access to your backup data. Then click OK. So before running the backup job, it is recommended to review and configure the settings as needed. So let's open the backup set. Okay, so we will be going through some of the important settings that may need to be configured when creating a Proxmox backup set. So let's begin with the duplication. So this setting is enabled by default. It removes all duplicate data blocks from your backup. So the default settings are the optimal settings for deduplication and will result in up to 90% savings in storage space and costs for Proxmox backups. This will also further reduce network bandwidth usage and will allow for faster backups. So next is the retention policy. So let's keep the default settings, which uses simple retention policy, allowing us to recover any deleted or modified VMs for up to 1 week. So moving on, let's click others and you'll see the MFT settings, compressions, as well as the file viewer. So the MFT settings provides two options. So exclude deleted items or deleted files from backups and exclude swap files from backups. So it is recommended specifically for Windows VMs with NTFS partitions to keep these settings enabled, as these options optimize backups by excluding unnecessary data such as deleted files that still reside on disk and large system swap files used only for temporary memory management, resulting in faster, smaller, and more efficient backups. Next is the compression setting, which enhances the backup performance and reduces storage space and storage costs. So fast with optimization for local is selected. So let's keep this on default, as this option balances data compression speed, compression ratio, and CPU usage efficiently. Now let's scroll down and enable the file viewer. Okay, so it is recommended to enable the file viewer before running the backup shop. So this is to simplify the process of checking the backed up VMs and virtual disks, or confirm if selected VMs and disks have been backed up correctly. So close this page by clicking Save. Okay. So once that's set, proceed to run the backup job. So from the backup set page, you may directly execute the backup job. So make sure the option backup is selected before clicking on run. Okay, so since this is the first backup job, you can keep the setting on incremental. So a full backup will automatically run by default. So proceed by clicking the run backup icon below. Okay, so at the rightmost part of the backup set row, you may confirm that the backup is currently running. So to monitor the backup job progress, let's go to the AhsayCBS Web Management Console homepage, then click Live Activities. Okay, so at this point, we just wait until the backup progress appears under the backup status section. So let me go ahead and reload the page. Okay, so sometimes it may take a while before the backup job appears. So we'll just give it a moment. Okay, so both backup jobs for AhsayCBS and local destination, which we selected earlier, have appeared on the live activities page. So while we're giving the backup a bit of time to run, you may also click directly on the backup job progress to see the progress in detail. So the backup job should complete in more or less than 2 minutes, as we're only using test VMs. So once this completes, we'll check out the file viewer. That's where we'll confirm that all the selected VMs and disks have been successfully backed up. It's also a quick way to verify that the backup captured exactly what we intended. So in the meantime, if you have any questions about the setup or specific settings, please do not hesitate to drop a question in the chat. So we'll address it in the Q&A session. So as you can see, both backup job progress displays 100%. So we just wait for both progress or backup job progress to disappear as an indication that the backup job has completely finished. Okay. So the backup for the local destination is still currently ongoing. So we just wait for a little short while until both backup jobs complete. Okay. A little more time. Okay, so if you've got any questions, do not hesitate to drop them in. So the backup for the local destination has just completely finished. We just wait for the AhsayCBS destination to finish as well. Okay, now that the backup job has finished, let's use the file viewer to easily check if the backup VMs or virtual disks have been successfully backed up. So click File Viewer. So if you have more than one storage destination, you may select which destination to view. Then select the backup set. Okay, so we can now confirm that the selected VM, including its virtual disks, have been successfully backed up. Okay, so now that we've shown you how to back up your Proxmox cluster backup set, let's now head on to Standard Restore. Okay, so should you have any questions regarding the earlier demo we did or concerning this demonstration, please do not hesitate to ask for clarifications on our chat box. So in this demo, we'll show you how to restore a VM back to the original Proxmox server if it gets corrupted or accidentally deleted. So from the Manage Backup Set page, hover your mouse over the backup set containing the virtual disk you intend to restore. Now let's click on the drop-down menu for the Execute job, select Restore, then click Run. Now let's select the destination where to restore your data from. So for this, let's select the local destination as it will be much faster compared from AhsayCBS or any cloud storage. Then select the Proxmox server where to restore your data from. For this, we'll keep the original location. Then leave Run Direct disabled and click Next. Okay, so the option Choose from Files as of Job is selected by default, with the latest version of virtual machines and disks shown. However, you may find a specific version by clicking the drop-down menus next to it. So for this, we'll select the latest version of this VM 104 to restore. So before proceeding, let's confirm first if the selected VM does not exist on the Proxmox cluster. So as you can see, no VM 104 exists on Node 1, even on Node 2. So after confirming, let's go back to the AhsayCBS Web Management Console and click Next to proceed. Okay. So for the restore option, we'll keep the default restore options on default. Then proceed with the restore job by clicking the restore icon below. Okay, so the execute job status for the backup set will now show restore is running. So to view the restore job progress, let's go to the home page, click Live Activities, open the Restore Status tab. So let's wait for a little short while until the restore job progress appears. So let me go ahead and reload the page. So the restore job progress should appear on the live activities page in just a little few moments. Okay, now that we can see the job progress, while waiting, let's click on the restore job to get a closer look. So this detailed view shows the progress of the restore process. So it might take a moment for the details to load. So that's totally normal. So while we're waiting, just note that the panel is where you'll find real-time status of your restore job progress. So instead of guessing where the restore is at, you can come here and check the exact phase instantly. So that's where you'll see the estimated time left, though this part can vary depending on your internet connection speed and actual size of the data being restored. So you'll also see how much data is left to be processed. So everything you need is right there at a glance. So what's running and how fast things are moving. Okay, so we can see here that the restore job progress is at 100%. So we just have to wait until the restore job progress disappears completely from the live activities page as an indication that the restore job has completely finished. Okay, so after the restore job, as the restore job progress disappeared, let's now open the Proxmox server to double check if the virtual machine that you have selected was restored. So we have just confirmed, so here's the VM 104. We have just confirmed that the selected VM earlier has been successfully recovered, including all the disks it contains. Okay, so now let's move on to another recovery option, which is run direct. So for this demo, we're using a different backup set and a different server, which is a standalone server. So I'll now walk you through how to enable run direct and what to expect once the VM launches straight from the backup repository. So let's begin. So let's select where to restore your data from. So for this, we'll select the local destination again. Then, when restoring a VM, you'll have the option to enable run direct. So once enabled, aside from VM boot and running directly from the backup storage, the system will automatically migrate the running VM back to production in the background as well. So you can also choose to power it on immediately as soon as run direct starts. So this means end users can get access to the VM without waiting for the full restore to finish first, making it especially useful for urgent recovery scenarios. So in this demo, let's enable all options and click next. Okay, so it's just taking quite okay, so for this, before proceeding, let's select first the VM we intend to restore with run direct. So for this, we will select the VM 103. Okay, so before proceeding, let's check first the Proxmox server to confirm if the selected VM does not exist. So as we can see, no VM 103 exists on our Proxmox server. So after confirming, let's go back to the web console and click next to proceed. Okay, so for the restore options, we'll again keep the restore options on default, then proceed to restore. Okay. So now the execute job status for the backup set will confirm that the restore job is now running. So let's proceed to the live activities, then the restore status tab to monitor the progress of the restore job. So let me go ahead and reload the page to see if the restore job progress will appear in the live activities page. So still, it might take a little short while, just like earlier, before the restore job progress appears. So just a little more moment for us to wait. Okay. Still. Okay, so guys, if you still have any questions regarding the earlier demonstrations or the presentation, or even during this current demonstration, please do not hesitate to drop any of your questions or any clarifications on our live chat box. So as we can see, the restore job progress for the VM that we have selected earlier has just appeared. So as mentioned with run direct, end users may access the VM even while restore job is ongoing. So let's go to the Proxmox server where you restore the VM to. So you will immediately see the selected restored VM powered on, indicated with a green icon right here. So when you click on it, console, connecting. So eventually the operating system logo will appear, indicating that the virtual machine is currently in the process of being powered on. So accessing a restored machine may take a while depending on the size of the VM. So you might have to wait for a few minutes before being able to log into your machine. And here, currently, our Windows VM has started powering on. As you can see, the Windows logo has just appeared. As we have already shown you how to do a standard restore as well as run direct, let's now proceed with our final demo, the Granular Restore. So let's walk through how Ahsay's Granular Restore works for Proxmox. So this feature is really handy as it gives you full flexibility over your data. So instead of restoring an entire VM or virtual disk, which may take quite a while, you can simply pull out the specific files or folders you need by just copying and pasting the files. So quick, lightweight, and perfect for situations where users only need a small portion of their data. So just a quick reminder that before we start, Proxmox Granular Restore requires Ahsay OBM installed on a Windows machine. So once you've got that ready, go ahead and log into Ahsay OBM and click on Restore. Okay, so from here, choose the Proxmox backup set you want to work with. As we only have a single destination for this backup set, we'll keep the default selection. Then proceed to check. However, it is recommended to use a local destination if you have one available, as it is faster than restoring from the cloud or AhsayCBS. Then proceed to, before you proceed, check the temporary directory first and configure if needed. Then the selected temporary directory will serve as the temporary path of the mounted virtual drive later on. Okay, so once you've confirmed the temporary directory, click Next. Okay, so if this is your first time running a Granular Restore on this machine, Ahsay OBM will notify you that the VFS driver is not installed yet, so click Install. Okay, so this would only take a few minutes, a few seconds before the VFS driver installation completes. Okay, so after installation, you will be brought back to the restore page where you'll choose the virtual machine containing the virtual disk to mount. So by default, Ahsay displays the latest backup version, but you may select a specific version using the drop-down menu. So let's select the Windows VM we want to pull the data from. So clicking on the plus sign lets you view the available virtual disks, and you can verify the target disk is there. Okay, so for this, we will select the VM 102. Then click Next. We just have to wait for a while. Okay, so next, you'll choose a drive letter for the connected virtual disk. So Ahsay will also remind you to add this drive letter to your antivirus exception list, which will help avoid any interference when the disk mounts. So after selecting a drive letter, click OK to continue. Okay, so Ahsay OBM is currently connecting to the virtual disks on AhsayCBS. So we just have to wait for a short while. So once completed or once connected, you'll actually see a new drive will appear on your local machine as an open direct drive under the drive letter you selected earlier. So for this, in the open direct drive is a subfolder named after the VM ID, where each virtual disk is temporarily placed in VHD format. Okay, so now let's go back to Ahsay OBM. So in this demo, let's mount disk 1. Excuse me. Then let's just wait until it is mounted. Then click Browse. Okay, so clicking Browse will actually take you straight to the temp folder where the disk contents are mounted. So from here, just navigate to the file or folder you need. So you can open the file directly from the mounted drive, like this. Or you may simply drag and drop the file to a local folder to restore it. Okay, so once done, open the local folder, check the recovered file, and that's it. So you've successfully performed a granular restore. So this approach is especially useful for user-level recovery requests or quick retrievals without having to recover the entire VM. So it saves time, reduces load, and keeps your workflows smooth. So now that you've seen how straightforward and efficient granular restore is with Ahsay, it's clear how much control this gives you in real-world scenarios. So that's just one piece of the full Proxmox experience Ahsay has built for you. So Ahsay brings together reliability, flexibility, and ease of use, all designed to help you protect your clients with confidence. So let's take a look at how it all fits together.
To back up Proxmox VE, Ahsay is 100 times cheaper than Proxmox Backup Server.
But Proxmox Backup Server is free. How can Ahsay be cheaper than free?
Here's how Ahsay is cheaper. An Ahsay VM backup plan starts from US $14.4 per year for backups of unlimited Proxmox VE VMs and servers. Ahsay requires zero upfront investment, no need to buy hardware, storage, or any infrastructure fees. It includes unlimited technical support tickets, live chat, and remote assistance, with zero support fees. All this with full immutable backup protection to defend your data against ransomware and hackers.
Here's why Proxmox Backup Server is not free. Although Proxmox Backup Server is free to use, you'll still need to invest upfront in hardware, storage, and infrastructure for your Proxmox Backup Server. That's not all. Proxmox technical support isn't free. In fact, you have to pay premium prices for basic support. It's 1,080 euros per year. Basic plan gets you just 5 tickets per year. Require remote support? Then you need to upgrade to the 2,160 euros per year standard plan. Need faster response time and unlimited support tickets? Then you need to upgrade to the 4,320 euros per year premium plan. Not to mention, the lack of a mutable backup feature means your backup data is at risk from ransomware and hackers.
Delivering enterprise-grade backup at a fraction of the cost. Compared to Proxmox Backup Server, the total cost of ownership is significantly lower with no compromise on features or technical support. That's why you should choose Ahsay.
Okay, so that wraps up our demonstration of Ahsay's Proxmox VE backup module and all the key features we wanted to show you today. Now I would like to open the floor for your questions, so feel free to ask anything about backup, restore, setup, or best practices, and we're here to make sure you leave with full clarity and confidence in partnering with Ahsay. So this is your chance to ask questions, explore specific scenarios, and see how Ahsay can fit your customers' needs. So due to time limitations, we might only be able to accommodate a few questions or more if time will permit. So feel free to type in any of your questions on the chat box. So any questions from our participants or any clarifications on the demonstrations that we have shown you, presented earlier? Do not hesitate, please do not hesitate to ask any questions or clarifications that you might have. Still no questions submitted. How about from our other participants? Okay, we have answered Mr. Lucas' question. Will be available the recorded version. So yes, all our webinars are recorded and you may view them later at your own convenience. No questions or any clarifications from our participants. Would be happy to assist you. Please do not hesitate to drop them in on our chat box. I think we can still wait for a few more moments for the questions to come in. Please do not hesitate to submit any of your clarifications. Hi, Mr. Frederick. Thanks for the live. We're very much happy to assist you and deliver the service that you deserve. You might have any questions, Mr. Frederick. Please do not hesitate to drop them in on the chat box. I think we got no questions for today. Other participants might submit their questions. We can still wait for a few more moments. So I think we got no questions for today's webinar session. Okay, thank you so much for being with us today. We hope this session gave you a clear view of how Ahsay can make Proxmox protection easier, faster, and more efficient for you and your customers. So after the webinar, you'll receive a short post-session survey. So we'd truly appreciate it if you could take a few moments to share your feedback. So your insights will definitely help us improve our future sessions and better support your needs. So if you're ready to enhance your service offerings or would like hands-on assistance in getting started, our team is always here and excited to support you. So once again, this is Doris from Ahsay. Thank you so much for your time today, and we look forward to helping you deliver smarter, stronger protection to your customers.